Okay, so if you got a broken oil dipstick, this video is for you. I'll show you 3 easy ways to remove a broken oil dipstick. First, I'm going to try using you can try using a self-tapping screw. Just screw it right into the end of the oil dipstick. A lot of times, this is a relatively easy method, but the steel part of the stick sometimes protrudes up to the plastic, so it's hard to screw through. So on this one, I'm actually going to try a different method first. I'm just going to spray some lubricant inside here, make sure it can move freely when you're trying to get this thing out. But what we're actually going to do on this one is we're going to try and use compressed air through the crankcase to try and push the oil dipstick out. As you can see, it's broken. So we got the oil dipstick tube all lubed up good, so hopefully this sucker will just pop right out. So I'm going to take shop air. If you don't have shop air, then I'm going to show you a few other methods towards the end of the video on how you can get this out. But in a case where this works, this is probably the easiest one because it only takes about 20 seconds. So I'm starting to put the compressed air straight into where the oil filler cap is. On this one, it's actually got a vent right off the valve cover. I could hear the extra air escaping, so I'm gonna have to pull that tube off. And I'm just gonna block that hole with my finger. Depending on the type of car you have, you may not have to do that. But if it's got a breather off the top of the valve cover, you may have to block that hole to get enough pressure in the system. And we got plenty of pressure, and this sucker doesn't want to budge. So, of course, for the sake of the video, it's not going to work. But I can assure you, I've done this many times, and it does work. So, depending on how severe the oil dipstick is stuck in the dipstick tube, will depend on whether or not this method works or not. I would probably say 70% of the times compressed air will work for getting that broken dipstick out. So I'm just going to tap on it a little bit, maybe try and loosen that up. See if that helps at all. Oh, and nothing. So if you have another person around, you can have them come over and maybe just tap on it while you have the compressed air in there. See if that helps at all. That's what I'm going to do here in a minute. And still nothing. Which is probably a good thing because it probably would have flew out and hit him in the face. So, but I can assure you this is a pretty cool little trick, and it does work. So you can always try this first if you have access to compressed air. If you don't, then there's a few other methods. You can remove the dipstick itself. On this one, it's just a 13mm bolt, and I can remove the whole oil dipstick tube and then just pull it right out. Or if you don't want to pull the dipstick tube out, you can just run a self-tapping screw down in through there and do it that way. Which I tried putting a self-tapping screw down in there, and you can see the bits and pieces coming out the end of the stick. That's the plastic that shredded. But it had a steel core in the middle of the oil dipstick tube that I couldn't drill through. So that's not going to work on this one. So we're actually going to remove the oil dipstick tube so we can get the oil dipstick out. Alright, so I got the oil dipstick out now and the oil dipstick tube, and I was able to just push it out through the bottom of the tube. These things usually come out relatively easy. Like I said, it was just one bolt holding this whole tube in. So there's a number of different ways you can go about getting these dipsticks out. A lot of times, if you don't, air is a pretty simple, easy way to try. If not, self-tapping screw, you just screw it in there just like that, and then you can pull it out. But a lot of times when you try to screw the screw in, it pushes the dipstick down in farther. But I hope this video was helpful. If so, hit the thumbs up and like my channel. Thanks.